Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Nasir Mahmood from Pakistan. My specialization is Arabic linguistics and translation studies. I received my PhD in Arabic and linguistics and translation studies from University of Leipzig, Germany in 2017. And after serving different institutes as translator and lecturer in Germany, I came back to Pakistan. And nowadays, I'm working as assistant professor in the University of Sialkot, Pakistan. My today's presentation is about the title of this conference, which is the International Conference on Interdisciplinarity, Humanities, and Communication Studies. Keeping in view the theme and title of the conference, the title of my presentation is the combination of linguistics and interdisciplinarity research to shed light on the importance of interdisciplinarity research, and I'll use the applied linguistics and Arabic linguistics as an evidence or as an example to shed light on the importance of interdisciplinarity research. The title of my presentation is I'm going to share my slides with you, and as you can see, the title of my presentation here, it is Modern Linguistics and Interdisciplinarity Research. It is a brief overview in context of ICIHCS. So before I start my presentation, here is in quick glance, you can see the contents of my presentation, and my presentation actually it will give you the following contents, or I'll talking about the following contents, and it is the first thing what I will talk about is concept and meaning of interdisciplinary research. The second thing is the definition of language and linguistics, and then the branches of linguistics. Briefly, I will discuss the branches of linguistics, and then we have the link of linguistics with other disciplines. This is the main theme where I will link and I will shed light on the importance of interdisciplinarity research. And here I will bring the few examples like the psycholinguistics, in which there is a connection between psychology and linguistics. Then we have sociolinguistics, then we have the geolinguistics, and then the computational linguistics. Last but not the least, there will be the example about translation and culture to shed light on the importance of interdisciplinary research in humanities. And then there will be a brief summary of this presentation and the references, and here I will conclude my presentation. Let's start. The first point, what does interdisciplinary research actually means? This is the basic concept. Before I start my proper presentation, I want to talk about this. I want to make the concept clear. What does it means? What does it and how it could be affected? Interdisciplinary research, meaning and concept. So definition of interdisciplinary research is that this is type of the research in which which integrates information, data, techniques, tools, perspectives, concepts, or theories from two or more disciplines or bodies of specialized knowledge. So two or more disciplines, they comes together in one place, they work together like a team, and they produce a research which is actually multi-dimensional and which could be more useful for the society. And sometimes the research is not possible, keeping in view certain domains, certain disciplines, the research is not possible without other disciplines or without taking help of other disciplines. For example, cognitive science. If somebody is trying to work on cognitive science, so that person also has to understand neurology, psychology, anthropology, linguistics, and statistics. So these all disciplines, they comes together to make it possible to understand cognitive science or make it possible to research on cognitive science. And the second example is like women study. If someone is trying to study the woman, then it also has to it also he or she will also be in need to study the gender studies, history, literature, and biological structure or biology. They also have to study these disciplines, and only then it will be possible to study, or it will be possible to complete the research on women studies. And then the last example to understand interdisciplinary research, it is the public health, which might combine medicine, sociology, and psychology. These three things, they also necessary to understand the public health. This was the basic concept of interdisciplinary research. And now I'll move to my discipline, that how the language and linguistics could be connected with the other disciplines, or could be connected with other domains of the research. So first we clear the language. What does language mean? So language is a system of communication used by a particular country or community, and linguistics is the scientific study of language and its structure. So we can see like that language is a tool of communication. Doesn't matter in which form the languages could be used. It could be the verbal language, it could be the non-verbal language, whatever it is. Language is a tool of communication, and linguistics is a scientific study of that tool, that how this tool is actually work, how is tool is being formed, and so on. So linguistics, when we further divide linguistics in certain branches, in certain areas, so keeping in view the concept of the language, the linguistics, we can divide the linguistics in three main areas, or we can say the three main branches. And the first thing, or the first area, is it is called theory, in which we talk about the phonetics, morphology, how the words are being produced, from where the sound is being how the sound is being produced, of how we generate the sound. And then we have the morphology, that how we turn the sound into the words. And then we have the syntax, that how we turn the words into the sentences, how we combine the words with each other, how we connect the word with each other. And then we have the dictionary, for example, how the meaning are being transferred and how the meaning are being understood of certain words. And semantics, how the words, they are carrying the certain meaning, because each word has a certain meaning, and it is based on the semantics. So here is the theory. In theory we study all these things, and then it comes the application. In application, for example, speech pathology, the speech diseases, they can be cured by the study of applied linguistics, or by the study of linguistics. And then we have the translation, when we are going to translate from one discipline, from one language into the other language, from one gesture into the other gesture. So what will be involved, and how the language will be translated, and the lexicography. And then we have the computing linguistics, which is also an application, and how the language is being processed. And then language teaching, how the language will be taught. They could be the both languages, the native language and the second language, because the both languages are being taught, or both languages are being learned. The ways are different, the patterns are different. So here is the application. We discussed that how it is, how it will be done. Then we have the connection. This is the most important part of my presentation, that how linguistics connect with other disciplines, how linguistics work with other disciplines, or how other disciplines, they are going to work with linguistics. I have taken only 5 examples, or 5 domains I have discussed here. There are many more as well. The first one is the psycholinguistics, the second one is the social linguistics, the third one is the geolinguistics, and the fourth one is political linguistics, and the fifth one is pedagogy. All are the disciplines. They are different disciplines. They are different disciplines than the language or linguistics, but they all comes together. They all have to do something with the language and linguistics, and we will understand this in the examples. For example, language and psychology, how the language is being processed, or what is the connection between language and psychology. Linguistics, we already have understood that it is the creation, creation of words, formation of words, use and grammatical structure of the words. This is called linguistics, or what we do in linguistics. This is the purpose of the linguistics. And in psycholinguistics, actually it deals with the language processing, like listening, speaking, reading, and writing. That how spoken or written words or symbols turned into meaning in the minds, how the language is being understood, how the language is being interpreted by the person who is receiving the language, or by the person who is generating the language, who is producing the language. It all is being done here in the human brain. So when it belongs to the human brain, how it is being connected, how it is being interpreted, so psychology is involved in the linguistics. Like in the first example we can see, here is the two sketches of the humans, and the rope in between them, which is connecting them. It either could be interpreted as thoughts, or either it could interpret it as thoughts which are being transferred via language from one person into the other person. The person on the left side is the sketch on the left side is the producing a language, and the person on the sketch on the right side is receiving the language. So now how the person is producing on left side, of course there is a structure, it's a brain or mind related structure. And how is being the language is being received on the right side, it is also a mind structure. It is depend on the mind, that how the person is going to understand the language. And then we have the second example. It is a symbol. As we know, the symbol has a certain meaning. Doesn't matter in which area of the word the symbol is being used. If the person has enough intelligence, if the person has enough knowledge, so everyone will interpret this symbol that smoking is prohibited in this area. But if you are showing this symbol to those who are underage, for example, or who has never seen this symbol before, or who are not familiar with these things, they will not understand, they won't be able to interpret this symbol. So interpretation of the symbol, also how it is being interpreted, it is also being belong to the human mind. And the human mind will process it and will put the certain meaning in these symbols and in these pictures and the words which are being produced. So this is the connection between linguistics and psychology. We'll come to the next example, and the next example is the linguistics and sociology, that how the language is being interpreted, or how the language is being used, or how the language is being understood in different areas, in different locations, in different gender, different race, different age, and different social class, or nature of the relationship. It all comes together to be understood certain language. For example, English, it is a language, and it has the native speakers and it has the non-native speakers. Here I have written the three words. It is the English, which refers to the actual native English language or origin of the English language. And then we have the Chinglish. It is the version of the English which is being used in China. And we have the Spanglish. It is the version or study of the English which is being used in Spanish. So of course, when the English is being used in China or in Spanish, so the version will be different than the English which is being used in the native countries, because the local terminologies, local vocabulary is being part of it. And the second example, keeping view my origin country, and it is the Pakistan. For example, the word is car. So car, when we buy a car, it could be two conditions: either it will be new or it will be used. So when someone says in Pakistan geographically, and in the society of the Pakistan, when we says that I have bought a new car, I have bought a new car, so it could be interpreted that this person has an old car, now he has bought another car which is not a brand new, but which is the new for him as well. And if someone is going to buy the brand new car, so the people, they actually refer the word applied for, and applied for means in this region, applied for means applied for registration. So here is a culture, because the cars are not being registered on the first day of the purchase, but there is a gap of few days or maybe the few weeks. So they put a certain tag on the car, and the car and the tag reads out applied for registration. So now with passage of time, it becomes an equivalent to the brand new car. So if someone is trying to say I have bought a brand new car in Pakistan, generally they say I have bought an applied for car, or someone is saying I bought a new car. So the receptor will ask immediately the question, is it applied for or used? So applied for is equal to brand new. Applied for registration, it means it is a brand new car. Then the third example, like how we get attention of other people. So there are different ways. It all based on the nature of the relationship. Like the first word is hey. If we are trying to get attention of our colleagues, our friends, the people we are very close, are very frank with them, so we could use the word hey, hello, such words. And then the second word is excuse me. It is generally we use with the strangers in the formal way. The same attention, the relationship change, the word change. And then we have the word sir and ma'am. It is also again the nature of the relationship that we are going to use. We'll come to the next is language and geology. The different areas and different languages. Different areas we use the different languages, and different words we use, like Urdu in different regions of Pakistan, it is national language of Pakistan, but different areas it is being spoken different ways. And then we have the English in different regions of words, and we have Arabic in different countries of word. So if we have to understand these differences, we have to understand the geological division of these areas, and the geological division of the people they are living in those areas. And then we have the computational linguistics, keeping in view the era we are living nowadays, which is the most important era, which is the most important time we are going through. So because the computer is part of our life, without computer, communications most probably are not possible nowadays. So computational linguistics, that linguistics and computer scientists, they are working together, and they are producing the applications. They are processing the human language, like and the result of these processing, these research is like machine translation. It is a machine, and it giving us the translations. The quality of machine translation could be question. There could be a question mark on the quality, but it is true that the machine is helping us in processing the language, producing the translation. And we have speech recognition system, which is being used in modern cars, in modern mobile phones, in modern technologies, to unlock and lock the cars or the other gadgets, because the system actually, or the computer, recognize our sounds and respond according to it. And then we have the search engines, like we type anything, whatever we are looking for, we give it, we transform it into the words, and then we put the words in computer, and computer give us the millions of results. So it means that language and computer, they are working together to develop a new era, to develop certain research and so on. And then the last example, it is the translation and culture. It is the last example. Translate culture, as you know, it is a field of anthropology. Language, it is being used for communication purpose, and translation is a bridge between various languages, various cultures, and so on. You might have studied, as you can see in this picture, you might have studied the story of Aladdin and his wonderful lamp. So the point is that this story is available in different languages, in various languages. Like I have studied this story in Urdu, I have studied it in Arabic, I have studied it in English, and I have studied it in German language. So in all these languages, when it comes a point that when the jinn appears, jinn comes, the jinn asks, okay, what I could do for you? What do you need? So the first thing they ask, it is the food, and every story describe the food. And now the culture plays the role, that the food is being described, the food which is being described in Urdu language is different than what is being described in Arabic language, and the food that is being described in Arabic it is different than the food which is being described in English. And then but the food which is being described in English, it is totally different than the food which is being described in Urdu, because the culture plays the role. The culture forced the translator to change the meaning of certain word, or change the description of the food, and so on. And then here is the brief summary, that linguistics is in general is a specifically applied linguistics is one of the field where many other disciplines comes together and make interdisciplinary research possible. Not only possible but also fruitful, as it can be seen in the diagram below. And then here is the references, and after the references, at the end I would like to thank you very much for your patience. That's all what I want to say in this regard, that interdisciplinary research is very important. Not only important, it is very fruitful for the researchers, for the societies in which it is being done. So thank you very much for your attention and for your patience.